Like, I think the barrier is nice, but I think guards are just more reliant and consistent. And Purify Chain is nice, but I think the big thing that you really want to purify is sleep. And although it purifies it once, the chain just stops once you purify sleep. And I think like that's one of the that's one of the biggest statuses that you want to get rid of is sleep. And she can only do it once, which is like it's good, but it could be better. And I think that let me go to her real quick. Where is she? Divine Intervention, it sounds very good on paper. I could not get it to trigger though. Like I tried finding Musashi's and Dark Sun Wukongs and Dark Cinderellas. It just would not trigger. Well, it could also be the team I was using because it was a stun team, but I feel like it should be really good when it does trigger. But I just could not get it to trigger. Counter stance, it's good on paper. I feel like it's very good when it works. It's very situational. But I feel like you have to have a lot of things go right for you. Like if you fight a Dark Sun Wukong, or actually just a lot of units can just get rid of your counter stance. You can get poisoned, counter stance no longer matters. She absorbs all the stun, and then she just never moves because someone got rid of her counter stance. Through poison, through burn, actually not burn, it's mainly poison. Probably poison and sleep. Lots of poison and sleep. So even though she gets a counter stance, it's so easy to get rid of it by a lot of different characters that it's very possible that she just gets stunned and never gets a turn. So I think theoretically she's very good on paper, and under the right conditions she can do a lot of damage and a lot of support, and not a lot of damage. She can do a lot of support and a lot of good things for your team. But I feel like it's very, very situational to the point where it's very inconsistent and it's not easy to pull off. And with all the things that have to go right for her to be like super good, I think you're kind of better off with a guard. Yeah, I think that's more or less it. Like, she can be very good in the right situation, but you have to have a lot of things go right for you, and it's just not consistent. Yeah. I mean, it is nice that the Purify chain is like essentially permanent on her. Or it's almost permanent on like everything. So that is nice. But it is also kind of weird that it jumps to characters that have nothing to be purified. Like it can jump to a character that's like, it could be this character is burning, this character is sleeping, this character is normal, and it'll jump to the normal character with no status. Like, I guess it makes it a little bit more fair, but it's also a little bit, it becomes a little bit useless in that turn. Yeah, right here. It's, so, defeated or leave battlefield is not too bad. Like, it's just saying either have stronger units or have strong first platoon / hopefully you don't get pushed back, which you can't really do much about the pushback, but it's the sleep. It's the sleep that kind of screws the chain. Like, if it wasn't for the sleep, it would be so broken. But because of the sleep, it's still good, but there's a lot of sleep. There's just so much sleep going around. Like, there's a lot of sleep teams out there. So like, it is very useful, it's very nice, but the sleep really hinders it a lot. Like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I feel like they really tried to make her work. Like, they really thought, like, hey, if she gets a bunch of statuses to remove her counter stance, then she won't be able to use it. So we should give her a purification chain so that they can use her counter stance. And they'll use barriers instead of guards instead. But the purification chain still just, it's good, but it's still not enough. And it still gets the counter stance overwritten. Like, there's so much going for her, it just doesn't work. Dude, I don't think I actually ever saw her use Lighted Brace, which again would be huge if it triggers under the right conditions. If only she had Give Turn, she would be a solid support. She does have, so she does have Give Turn. It's just your allies have to be under 50, and she has to be not stunned in order to give it. It's so bizarre. Like, she does have Give Turn, and it is technically a really powerful, it could potentially be one of the strongest Give Turns, because it'll purify everyone, heal everyone, and give everyone a turn if they're all under 50. But it's the big if, and it's just not consistent. It's just, she's got a lot of good stuff, but it's not consistent. Too many OP characters, my soul stones can't keep up. Well, I mean, if you're thinking of the Avatar Lud, the new unit right now, and you think she's super OP, I think you're okay with not holding or not summoning. I would not necessarily, like, if you're really short on soul stones, I would say you could probably skip. Like, you could probably skip Avatar Lud and save for the strong OP units. She's good, but she's very situational. She's not as OP as she sounds on paper. On paper, she sounds fantastic, but in reality, it's very situational, conditional, not super consistent. Yeah. It's better to take out King Arthur Summer. Oh yeah, the Storm King Arthur, yeah. Storm King Arthur is solid. Like, I would say it's a better unit. It's more consistent, and banners going on right now as well. Like, if you're interested, or like a newer player, out of the banners, it's probably King Arthur. Yeah, it's probably King Arthur out of the three. Well, 3 plus these guys. We don't really talk about these guys anymore.